What's up everyone, it's your girl Shay here. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back to my channel. If you have been here before and see by the title of today's video, I'm going to be talking about some news regarding Berserk. Now, I myself have personally never read the Berserk series, but I do know that about last year, the original author of the series, Kentaro Miura, actually unfortunately did pass away, and at the time the Berserk manga was not yet finished. And I know for a lot of people who have been fans of the series, a lot of people were insanely crushed. Berserk was a beloved series and so many people have loved it. It has sold so many copies and so many people were truly going to miss Miura's work, and he was truly just going to be missed as an overall person. Now, because of where the series pretty much left off, a lot of fans of the series just pretty much thought the series was pretty much just not going to be completed. But this morning, I actually awoke to some news on Twitter that apparently the Berserk series is going to go back into serialization. And they are actually going to try their best to complete the series. Now, before a lot of people in this video turn this off and they're like, that's just stupid, they should just leave it how it is, they actually did pen a note to the readers to let them know why they are continuing to do so, as well as to let them know like who is going to be helping out with this project and how far they're actually going to take it. Now, the note is on Twitter, but it has, I believe, been translated, or they translated themselves for all of their readers. And pretty much this is what they go on to pretty much say, and I highly recommend for anyone who has a Twitter to check out their Twitter page to try to find it and to find this note. I'm sure you guys will be able to find it. But in one of the parts that they put, from the next issue, we will publish 6 chapters until the end of the Fantasia arc / Elf Island chapter. After this, we will start a new arc. Credits for the resumption of will be original work by Kentaro Miura, manga by Studio Gaga, and supervised by Koji Mori. And the numbering of the manga books will continue in order. So it seems like Koji Mori is pretty much a beloved friend of Kentaro Miura, and also seems to be like an apprentice of his as well. And that is whom they have decided to go with to basically try and to complete this manga. So pretty much people are basically saying, or basically what the studio is saying, that they're doing it because basically Miura would want them to. He would want them to continue the story and he wouldn't want them to leave it pretty much as it is. And so they do say, go on to say, or they say at the beginning, they say, upon resuming the series, our production team decided on a basic policy. Mr. Miura said so. This is what the production team kept in mind. Since he did not leave behind rough drafts, it is impossible for us to create a manuscript exactly in the way he would have intended. However, we will write the manga so as not to deviate from Mr. Miura's own words. We would like to take the Kentaro Miura that we knew so fondly through our conversations and work and convey this to all of you in a sincere manner. We believe that this policy, although imperfect, is the best way to deliver the Berserk that Mr. Miura envisioned to everyone as faithfully as possible. So that seems to be also like a promise to their readers, as well as an explanation and kind of in a way admitting like this is not going to be perfect, but this is how we're going to try and deliver it to you the best way possible as Mr. Miura would want us to. And they also have another note as well, but this one is written by Koji Mori, and this is pretty much the apprentice for Miura, and he actually goes on to say, or actually says, while he still was alive, Miura said, I haven't told anyone other than you, Mori, about the story in its entirety. And that was the truth. It is too big a responsibility, I thought. Should I talk to fans about it through an interview, or should I publish an article with some illustrations? But that wouldn't convey the scenes that Miura described to me, or the lines of Guts and Griffith. Just when I was trying to decide what to do, I received a message. The staff was saying they will finish the last chapter that was left behind. So can you take a look? The last few pages of the chapters were incomplete. Some did not even have the characters drawn on them. I took a look at the manuscript without expecting much. Desperation can push people to create miracles. There it was, the completed manuscript for Berserk. Mr. Mori, will you let us do it? Miura's apprentices, who Miura had been so proud of while he was alive, asked me straight. Company director Shimada, a mentor for me and Miura, also said, if you do it, the company will give our full support. I thought if I run away now, Miura would say, I talked to you about it so much, but you didn't do it. All right. I'll do it properly. So it seems like I'm probably mistaken. Koji Mori is actually not an apprentice. He actually is a close friend of Miura. I apologize at the beginning of this video of me saying that he's an apprentice. He actually is a close friend. And even in the going back to the note that the studio put out, they also had put, before his passing, Kentaro Miura spoke to his close friend Koji Mori about the stories and episodes he had in mind for Berserk. And he also says he also had similar talks with his studio staff and editor and stuff like that. But going back to the note that his friend actually penned out, he also said, I have a message and a promise to everyone. I will recall the details as much as possible and tell the story also. I will only write the episodes that Miura talked to me about. I will not flesh it out. I will not write episodes that I don't remember clearly. I will only write the lines and stories that Miura described to me. Of course, it will not be perfect. Still, I think I can almost tell the story that Miura wanted to tell. The talent Miura's apprentices have are real. They are brilliant artists. Many of you may not be fully satisfied with the Berserk written without Miura, but we hope everyone's thoughts will be with us. We ask you for your continued support. So after reading both the letter that was written by the studio and the letter written by his close friend, it seems like they're mostly doing this in the memory of Miura, as well as a way of helping him to finish the story that he had pretty much already told, especially his friend, how it was going to be completed. And it seems that with the apprentices in the studio by his friend's side, they are going to try and complete this series as best as possible. And Mori goes on to actually say, or how he puts it, is that, which I thought was great, was that he's not going to do anything beyond what Miura already told him, and he's not going to flesh it out because it's not his story. It is Miura's story, and he's just going to tell it how Miura told him. And he already recognizes that, yes, some fans are going to be very dissatisfied, or some fans are going to be kind of iffy about the fact that the story is being completed without Miura, or that's may not particularly feel the same, and he understands that, but he is just asking for all the fans' continued support. Now, it's hard for me really to give an opinion about this because I have never read the Berserk series. I don't really know what the story is entirely about, but I do have quite a few friends within the anime and manga world who were huge fans of the series and were absolutely devastated at the passing of Miura, and also were kind of wondering what was going to happen to the manga. The only thing I can say regarding this is regarding another series that I had picked up and I had read, and it wasn't until I finished watching the series as well as reading the manga, or reading what of the manga there is, that I really knew what happened to the author. And that was pretty much with the manga Itazura na Kiss. Now, if you guys are not familiar with what happened with that series, pretty much it's kind of similar with what happened to Miura. The original author of the series had unfortunately passed away, and the manga was not yet completed. And so the people who helped to complete the manga somewhat was the author's husband as well as the studio. They kind of worked side by side based off of what she had told her husband about how the series was pretty much going to end, or what was going to happen, and the studio went based off of that. And they also had the author's husband permission to continue on with the series, and that, to me, that was very, very respectful, and that they didn't just go and do it without the permission of them and completely ruin the series. So I personally, I guess in a way, look at this as being a very respectful way to do it, and doing it in a way that is to give the fans, I guess, somewhat some kind of closure with completing the Berserk manga for Miura because of what they know and because of what they've already been told, and not just leaving it like incomplete. Although I do know there are probably some fans that would rather it stay incomplete rather than the studio try and finish it without Miura. So just from what I'm going based off of online, it seems to be a mixed bag. I did read one person's Twitter post where they're kind of also conflicted. Like, they're happy about them seeing it going to be completed, or seeing about them going to continue production of it because they do love the manga so much, but they're also kind of not for sure about it because of the fact that Miura is not here to witness it. So I think it's kind of like a bittersweet kind of a feeling. Now, as far as when the next chapter is supposed to be released, it did say it's supposed to be released in the magazine that it is serialized in on the 24th of June. So in the next couple of weeks, we should be seeing a brand new chapter of Berserk. Once again, at least my feeling about it is that I can understand fans having a bittersweet feeling about it and not really knowing what to feel, especially because it has at this point been a year since his passing, and a lot of people were probably kind of at this point probably used to the idea that the Berserk manga was not going to have an ending and was just going to end as the last chapter had been written and go on from there. But now finding out this news, they're probably like, wow, like I'm excited to kind of see how the characters and how everyone's going to end up, but I'm also pretty sad or nervous. One, because the original author Miura is not here, but also nervous about the studio potentially messing this up. But it seems like I have to give credit to the studio and to his friend and to his apprentices for them actually admitting like, hey, this is not going to be perfect. This is not going to be completely how Miura may have wanted it, but we're going to try our best based off of what he has already told us, what has already been written, what has already been drawn, to complete the story as best as possible and to try and make the fans happy. And the fact that his friend actually knows Miura enough to know that Miura would want them to continue on with the series, especially because he knows exactly how it's supposed to end, and that he's choosing to do it this way compared to doing it in an interview or just telling everyone what's supposed to happen, that he's choosing to work with the studio to help them to finish his work, to me is very commendable. And I actually, am glad that he chose to do this, because that also takes a lot of strength as well, is to continue on your friend's work while you yourself probably have at this point, or maybe somewhat, have gotten used to your friend's passing, and there's probably still days where I'm sure that he misses him, but going to continue on with this work probably does open up a lot of old wounds for him, and realizing, okay, my friend's not here and it's on me to be the one to tell the rest of this story. So the most thing that I can ask for any fans of this manga or fans of this series is to please have understanding and have respect for what the studio and his friend are doing. They didn't have to do this, and I know some people are like, well, they shouldn't, but to me, give them the respect and give it a shot to see, and both realize that they have an understanding already that it's not going to be the same. But don't automatically bash it. Don't throw hate at the studio. Don't throw hate at his friend. Please be very respectful, and please, just be very open-minded, and also realize that this isn't the first time that something like this has happened, where outside forces have had to come in to finish an author's work due to something happening. But just overall, don't be mean, because we know as anime and manga fans how fans can be brutal online if they feel like the work is not to the standard that they're used to. And in this case, realize that the studio and his friend are going at it alone. They're going based off of just what he's told them. And like they both said, it's not going to be perfect. But if you're a fan, stick by them and see how the story is going to turn out. And know that it's probably going to be bittersweet once it is all over and once it does end. And yeah. But once again, I don't know if they're going to do like the ending of it, or if it's, once again, the studio said they're going to start a new arc once they finish the arc that it's currently on. The friend goes on to say, that he does know how it's supposed to end. So I don't know how long it's going to continue for. All I know is that they're choosing to continue it. So yeah, what are your thoughts about this? Comment below. Let me know how you guys feel. I've never read the Berserk manga, so it's hard. I can't really give an opinion on how I completely feel about it. As far as in this sense, I can only give a feeling about it for that series that I myself had already read that had a similar situation. And I can honestly say that I enjoyed both series, and while the manga had a different ending, or does have different ending than the anime does, I honestly would never have known that the author had passed away before it was completed, because it still was very, very seamless and didn't seem like there was anything weird that happened, like a character all of a sudden went left with a personality or anything like that, at least from what I could tell. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about this by commenting below. Yeah, that's overall just what I gotta say. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll have a new video out for you guys soon. Also, in the description box below, I'll have links to all my social media accounts. I have an Instagram, a Twitter, and of course also a TikTok. So feel free to check me out on there. And yeah, like I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy, and today's day and age, stay healthy. And of course, please stay safe. All right, you guys. Bye.